Hi, friends. This is Rich Rodriguez with my Aptera Journey. This channel is intended to share with you the excitement of driving an all-wheel drive Aptera with its 150 kilowatts of power and lightweight on a high-speed stretch of road. This channel is intended to share with you the thrill of taking the Aptera through a winding mountain road. But we don't have an Aptera yet. So I'm going to share with you some other things. My particular expertise is in financial analysis. While I have over 100,000 miles of electric vehicle driving experience, I have more experience in analyzing financial statements. So today I want to share with you a few things. Actually, 4 things. First, the transfer of crowdfunding shares to the Carta platform. Second, a few tidbits about Transport Evolve's test drive of the Aptera Roadster beta vehicle. I'd like to talk with you, that's number 3, about the beta vehicle, its lighting, and its yoke steering, and touch on briefly the Securities and Exchange Commission for fiscal year 2000 that we're looking forward to receiving. So let's get right to it. Well, it seems like Aptera is certainly preparing for an IPO, and I think that's fabulous. And I say that because I was notified that my crowdfunding shares were being transferred to this platform, Carta.com. This platform is going to allow Aptera to assure that the stock shares are, at the right time, transferred or being available for transfer to a broker, a stockbroker at your request. And it will allow Aptera to know precisely the number of shares that are outstanding and who owns them, as will be needed to managing the shares prior to an IPO and managing the shareholders' equity statements in future financial statements. So I'll provide a link down below of an IPO checklist about what a company needs to do before going to IPO. So in this checklist, I'm going to link down below. Take a look at item number 93, and it talks about transference of shares. So indeed, Aptera is doing all the right things to prepare for an IPO. And full disclosure, I am an investor in Aptera. I'm also an ambassador of Aptera and a reservation holder. So that was the first thing I wanted to share with you today. And the next thing I'd like to share with you today, if I can find my notes, is the test drive that Nikki Gordon Bloomfield at Transport Evolved had with an Aptera beta. And I'll provide the link below. But my takeaway from that test drive in Nikki Gordon Bloomfield at Transport Evolved is a fabulous EV advocate. And she also had a ride in an Alpha vehicle. And her observations were, after having a riding experience in the beta vehicle, was that the drive experience, notably the suspension, had really, really improved. She mentioned in her video, linked below, that going over a bump was extremely smooth relative to her prior experience with an Alpha vehicle. So I think I can say with some confidence, thank you, Nikki, that the Aptera Roadster beta design with the tuned rear suspension, notably with the tuned rear suspension, is much better than the Alpha vehicle. and that is absolutely fabulous and good news as a reservation holder and investor. The other thing I'd like to comment on is with the Aptera March update, and I'll provide a link below, of the Aptera Roadster beta design, there were a couple things I'd like to share with you. Number one, Yoke is a joke, in my opinion. I've not driven a Tesla Model S with a yoke, nor, I believe, is Aptera targeting Tesla Model S owners. But yet, what we saw with the Aptera Roadster beta design was a yoke steering system. Now, I have watched many videos of folks driving the Tesla Model S with a yoke for the first time. And almost without exception, people who drive a vehicle with a yoke for the first time find it frustrating. It's a put-off. It's terrible. How do you turn this little thing around and around when you want to go around a corner? It's proven to be problematic for first-time drivers. And don't we want first-time drivers purchasing Roadsters, Aptera Roadsters, with their fabulous efficiency? Of course we do. As such, I don't think we need yokes. It's going to scare people away. Why do that? The design of the exterior of the vehicle, which cheats the wind, it allows extraordinary efficiency, it allows the solar performance. Why do we want to scare people away with a yoke? It's ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, I've heard that the Roadster will have other options for steering, but why scare people away with a yoke? It's ridiculous, in my opinion. Do I want to attract Tesla fanboys to invest in Aptera? Yeah, maybe. But who's going to be buying the Aptera Roadster? I don't know if a lot of Tesla fanboys will be buying Aptera Roadsters. Smart, sports-minded, efficiency-minded individuals will buy the Aptera Roadster. People looking for efficiency are not going to be buying Teslas. They'll be buying Apteras. So let's not have a yoke. And I also want to thank and call out Bruce Nelson, who's an Aptera ambassador, who noted, correctly so, that with the in-wheel motor design system of the Aptera Roadster, it would be possible to design it with a yoke. It would be possible to design it with a joystick. But people don't want these things, in my opinion. The exterior design, while smartly designed for efficiency, could put others off. Why put others off additionally with a yoke? My opinion, and it's true for Tesla, yoke is a joke. Trash it. The second thing I'd like to comment on about the release of the beta vehicle design is the Cyclops Lighting. With the release of the beta vehicle, we now see what I refer to as Cyclops headlights. What's with that? Do people want to sit in a car with Cyclops headlights? And Cyclops headlights are basically a vehicle with one big light in the middle. And that's what the current beta Aptera Roadster design has. Is it required by regulation? I'm not sure. I don't know. But if I take a look at the Morgan 3, or if I take a look at the Vanderhall 3, I see that they have dual front beam lights. Why not the Aptera Roadster? Or if we need Cyclops lighting for the Aptera Roadster, please Aptera, keep dual beam lights on the left and right side of the vehicle as options as well. I want to be as visible as possible, and consider Aptera the Polaris Slingshot approach. What appears as Cyclops lighting also has left and right lights on the sides of the vehicle. Yes, I know the wheel pants of the Aptera are going to be illuminated, but I want to be seen. Please give me a left and right lighting. If we need to have Cyclops lighting in the middle, that's fine, but give me something left and right. I want to be seen. I want other vehicles who see me to recognize this is not a motorcycle. And I'm not sure that the wheel lighting of the wheel pants is going to be sufficient to give that clue to people who are approaching me. I want them to know I'm a wide vehicle, and that means left and right lights. Oh, and as a side note, does Aptera need a new chief technology officer? I see that Nathan Armstrong, who represents himself as the chief technology officer of Aptera as of July 2020, is simultaneously the founder and president of Armstrong Electric Vehicles as of July 2021. As an investor in Aptera, that leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I want to see everybody busting their butt to get Aptera out the door, not I work at Aptera and I have this side gig. That doesn't cut it for me. So, first of all, I understand one of the co-CEOs is off to Europe right now to work on the in-wheel motors and that supplier agreement. Thank you. That's important work. The in-wheel motors look fabulous. Keep up the good work. I also want to thank Aptera for all the good progress in the March update, which I linked down below. But I do want to just say that looking at the Aptera issuance.com webinar dated March 29th, 2022, and I want to call out, golly, what Aptera Owners Club channel for that link. Thank you. The CFO of Aptera stated that there was around 8,600 investors, and they've raised $65 million to date, with $40 million of that coming from crowdfunding. And I think that's fabulous. And I think this model of raising from the crowd is important because the company owners are motivated, because they generally are allowed to keep an increased ownership percentage. It allows us, the purchasers and investors in Aptera, to have a tremendous say on the development of the vehicle. Oh, and before I go, while I mentioned the Vanderhall vehicle prior, I'm curious if Aptera Motors can explain why there's no Apple CarPlay planned at this time for the Aptera Roadster. Vanderhall figured it out. I suspect Aptera Motors can figure it out as well. Please surprise us. Well, that's all I have for today, my friends. Please take a look at the links below, and I want to wish you a fabulous good day. We'll be talking with you again soon. What we talked about today was the transfer of the crowdfunding shares to the Carta platform. That's going to prep Aptera Motors for an IPO. That's fabulous. I also talked today about the Transport Evolved test drive in the beta Aptera Roadster, and it was reported that the suspension and handling were vastly improved. That's fabulous. I also shared with you today that I think the yoke design is a joke. It's terrible, in my opinion. And I shared with you today my thoughts on lighting. And I think we need that left and right lighting in addition to any regulatory Cyclops lighting. And we'll be looking forward to the next SEC securities filing. Until then, and until I get an Aptera Roadster in my hand to share with you, I hope you're well, and charge on, friends. Just charge on.